So you don't have any
I don't like to sit at the back, and I don't like to sit beside you.
Every time.
You're hiding from the camera today?
Yeah, you got me. Thinking of that. It's all a plan.
We're already live, you heard, man?
Which will be my last relocation when I put them on to you.
Can you call the chain for me, please?
Thank you very much.
1 second.
17 years old?
No, no. It needs to be. Brian, can you run it for me, please?
Sorry?
Can you run these over for me, please?
Yeah.
So I'm making the adjustments.
See?
Yeah, the streaming today again?
Yeah.
Yes, Brian promised I couldn't do it till late.
No, because the Miss person give my contact. The Miss person made some adjustments for me. So just making adjustments. I won't be here, but how's this angle for you? Yeah, but at least it's above. I have to make it higher this time. I'm going to send it to you. Because we're actually streaming now. No, damn, step out.
Step out.
Come on, maybe set me set me now for them. Yeah, come on, as long as the net not drop me, alright. No man, I connect it remotely.
Huh?
I connect it remotely.
So who going to sit down?
Nobody need to sit down. I connect it remotely. This set, the whole thing need for this is this.
Yes, I'm going to get Omar to see if he can head down to us.
So I have it set already. The thing he needs to do is just adjust the camera. If he wants to do a super motion. As in the on top on it.
I left the third extent.
Where?
Just unplug it? Unplug the extender?
Run the thing inside of it. Run the thing inside of it.
Yeah.
USB.
It's also chili.
Yeah, right.
It's been a while.
Are you heading out?
Yeah, but I could finish the USA.
You know what? Suspect next time when he's brought up.
You can't fit more than one.
He can, but he won't be good.
It's safer that because the USB extenders pull out on you. It's not because the signal.
Oh, you got a third one, okay.
But that's fine. That's
I mean, we can probably put these in it and then take down those.
that's fine.
You know? That is happens all the time.
You like so she
She was in the she was sick. That's the most. She was sick. She was sick. Because most of the time she was fine.
Careful.
Trying with that thing over.
When I say usually get into these things to
Too much skills. Send the link just for that. Yeah, man. Send the link just for that.
Right here. Until you're gonna give it.
It's connected.
You're not Lorenzo. Oh, okay. You look like Lorenzo, but you're not.
So can I do?
She know me from there right thing, so. Yeah. The great Christine Marriott.
Good question. How is it table about things like
In the third.
Oh, okay.
Notwithstanding, this is stream now, so I'm not going to say nothing yes, so I'll speak to you.
So where I have to come to see you? You see where I have to come to see you? You see which one I have to come to see you? Stream, yeah?
Amara's coming up?
Yeah, but I'm still working on something this morning.
I have someone to have on by 6:30.
Huh?
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to finish it, so I have to leave now. As long as you don't get plugged out, you're fine. But people keep walking and tripping over.
Anything else I need to know?
Okay, I do see. Just to get somebody.
I'm so the relationship is so strong.
Find somebody to do it. So, you can't say that. You can't say that. But you want
What did he tell me? What did he say?
Yeah, but we let's come and check.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. I just love to watch it. Yes.
You want to put something up here. This can work. You need a bigger one.
Yeah, so we're working on that. Yeah, Steven is outside. He's in my car. Yeah, he's waiting on it. But I'll be here. Let's head over.
Ladies and gentlemen, first let me apologize for the late start. You know, with the rain and what happens in Jamaica and the fact that you can't speed anymore on the road, you can't splash anyone. So really apologize for that, but we're going to get going now. Yes, indeed. Well, I'm looking around and I'm seeing so many distinguished persons. And I really want to say distinguished ladies and gentlemen all, and Indiana's babies. But what I'll say, I'm going to set the trend by just recognizing a few persons who are here, who will be on the program, and then I'm hoping that all the speakers who follow me will not have to repeat it. It's a Jamaican thing, isn't it? Ambassador Alison Stone-Roof, Honorable Earl Jarrett, Mr. Leo Gilling, Professor Rosalie Hamilton, Co-Vice Chancellor Ambassador Richard Bernal, Co-Vice Chancellor Professor Denzel Williams, Dr. David McBee, Mr. Coriel Green, I see him there, Executive Director for Broadcast Commission, very important man in my world. Dr. Indiana Major Cole, and her beautiful husband and family. Her mom, or should I say her sister, her daughters, her mother-in-law, welcome. Our specially invited guests and family, and the Yui family. I see so many persons from MSBM, Motor School of Business and Management, and the wider Yui. And I must tell you that both Professor Denzel Williams and Professor Ambassador Bernal are representing the center, the Vice Chancellor today. Welcome all, welcome. Well, this evening, I'm so pleased, not just to welcome you, but to welcome you to this book launch. Diaspora Networks in International Business. Perspectives for Understanding and Managing Diaspora Business and Resources. A long title, but I'm sure you'll hear a lot more and we'll learn a lot more this evening. So we gathered to celebrate Dr. Maria will be joining us later, I hope, Dr. Maria Ella, and of course our own Dr. Indiana Major Cohen, authors and co-editors of this volume. And we also celebrate the many contributors to the book. This volume, as I'm learning how to express it now, according to Professor Pervez, this volume fills an important gap in the international business literature and is a must-read for scholars and PhD students in the fields of entrepreneurship, small business, and foreign investments. And may I say also for retirees like me. This book is an outcome of several projects. Through diverse disciplinary views and votes, different voices, the volume speaks for itself. Through this book launch, others will speak about its contribution. So at this point, let me invite others to join the debate. Our very own Executive Director for the Mona School of Business and Management, Dr. David McBean, and may I say my co-chair tonight. We'll invite David to bring greetings on behalf of the Mona School of Business and Management. Dr. McBean.
Thank you, Mina. Good evening, all, and welcome to this one of our more important events for the year. On behalf of the Mona School of Business and Management, where Dr. Indiana Mintakoy is a research fellow and also is an academic director for master's programs, we'd like to welcome you and to say how pleased we are that we are launching yet another book. And I believe in just over a month we'll be launching another book. And you will say, why are books important? Because research is important. And as we all know, in the context of the Caribbean, the diaspora is very important. It provides emotional and physical support, both ways, us for them and them for us. For other people in the diaspora, we provide a link, a history. And the work in this book is very important because not only is it about the diaspora, their dreams, their aspirations, their achievements, how we can exploit the diaspora and how they can help us to grow in so many different ways. But more importantly, it's written about people from the diaspora. And so it's not just an academic tone which is very cold and dispassionate. It has an emotional connection which brings the threads together in the book and will make, no doubt, a very interesting read. So I would like to say congratulations to the Mintakoys, because you know, it has to be a sacrifice. And that, as you welcome the minister. The family of academics always have to put up with a lot when they research, because it is a time sometimes when they're absent. So Dr. Coy, you deserve this. Also to your co-editor, Dr. Maria Elo, who will join us by Zoom, or I think a recorded message later. We recommend this. With the entrance of the minister at this point, we would like once again to highlight that the business of Mona, the Mona School of Business and Management, is to provide those links to not only the private sector, but also to the public sector minister. And we are willing to put our research out there. Our research is useless if it does not aid in the development of Jamaica and the region. And we're about global knowledge, regional solutions. So once again, welcome and congratulations.
Thank you, David. And Minister, a very special welcome to you. Until a couple of decades ago, the main contact with diaspora was what? Remittances, yes, remittances, and maybe some funds to buy a retirement home. And I share that journey. I having lived out of Jamaica for some 10 years, almost at 10 decades, 10 years. You know, I know what that was like. And so, more recently, we hear of and we see the occurrence of not just FDIs, foreign direct investments, but diaspora direct investments. So new to most of us, really emerging in a number of markets. And this evening, we say thanks for this volume, for this work, which explains this new phenomenon, and which will help us understand the true impact of that. Minister Kamina Johnson-Smith, Minister of Foreign Affairs and Trade, and Professor Denzel Williams, our Pro-Vice Chancellor for Industry, Academic, Partnership and Planning. They know all about this. Minister, as you know, in her ministry, direct engagement with the diaspora is every day. Right, Ambassador Bernal? It's every day. And our Denzel at Ewing is a prolific author and is recognized for his work in international business. So we're going to hear from them now. And I'm going to invite the Minister first to bring some remarks, followed by Denzel.
Dr. Winter Coy, Honorable Earl Jarrett, Mr. David McKean, Ambassador Bernal, Professor Williams, Ambassador Stoneroot, are you here? Ambassador Stoneroot, how are you? Mr. Cordell Green, specially invited guest, Mr. Johnson. Good evening, sir. Good evening. It's a really great pleasure to be here with you today. There are times when I wonder whether the stars aligning is more than saying. When I was invited to this event, I thought I wouldn't be able to make it. And somehow my schedule, well, it apparently didn't clear entirely. I was 40 minutes late, but it cleared insofar as the schedule ever cleared and allowed me to come, because the matter of the diaspora is of such great importance and interest to not only me personally, but to the ministry, which I have the privilege and honor of leading. And there are two fundamental concepts, two concepts which are now topical and pressing issues being handled by the ministry, and they are, of course, diaspora engagement and economic diplomacy. So for obvious reasons, there must have been some alignment of the stars that would have me here today to share in this evening's event. The Jamaican diaspora has, of course, been active for quite some time, and the movement has grown quite well over the years. We're just about to move to a new level of engagement, and in fact, we're moving towards a widening and deepening of the engagement. If you would like to see an example or examples of that diaspora engagement with Jamaica, you only have to look at the alumni associations, you only have to look at the task forces, the medical missions, the youth groups, the new youth council that is just bursting way ahead of anything that we could dream of doing centrally at the ministry. The passion and commitment that Jamaicans who live overseas continue to have and hold in sentiment and active action for Jamaica is nothing short of amazing. So yes, most of our diaspora activity resides in Canada, the US, and the UK, where our migration has most greatly been focused for generations. So our current thrust to expand diaspora engagement seeks to ensure that the regions of Africa, Caribbean, Latin America. Mr. Brown, I did not see you. Real men wear pink. Apologies for not. But yes, the areas of the regions of Africa, Asia, Latin America, Caribbean, Middle East, and Europe, not including the UK, but not because of Brexit, because the UK is a mature diaspora location. We want to ensure that Jamaicans in communities there are represented and have an opportunity to learn how to organize and develop their own spaces and their own movements in those regions. as well as how to sustain a movement in those areas, because we know they want to connect. We have met many of them when they reach out often to try to learn to engage. So leadership will emerge, and in fact is emerging. There are small organizations, but they need support. So the creation of a new Global Jamaica Diaspora Council, which expands beyond the existing Diaspora Advisory Board, is the matter on which we're now working. So in the 3 most mature diasporic locations, the process is now underway for the election of members for those regions on the council. And in addition to the location-specific council members, there will also be subject matter experts. So we're seeking to have, because of course the Diaspora Advisory Board members don't require any particular expertise. It's activity and engagement and your ability to mobilize, which is all very important. But we also want to deepen the thinking and the developmental sustainability. So we're adding subject matter experts, health, education, science and technology, faith-based community are among the areas which will be included in representation on the council. So again, this is part of how we're looking at deepening and expanding our outreach, how we tap into that amazing wealth of human capacity that resides beyond our shores, as well as, of course, creating that connection with Jamaica. I'm sure. I really can't wait to read the book. The topic alone, and when I read some of the basics about what will be introduced, not only excites the bookworm and the minister in me, but just as a Jamaican wanting to understand how we can do more. I can't wait to read it, really. So this, again, of course, is what we're looking at. How do we, it's just perfectly aligned. How do we tap in and move beyond not only, because there is limited investment, there is investment, diasporic investment. Diaspora is an important market for us as well, for our manufacturers. So as we look at our economic diplomacy strategy, we are, of course, looking at how the diaspora and our missions overseas can help in leveraging the growth of our export activity here in Jamaica. So I'm sure that you have important things in there for us to learn, know, read, and supplement the strategy, which is in its nascent stages, although conceptually it is not very new. Now, another exciting thing about this evening is that Mr. Earl Jarrett is giving the the keynote. And it's particularly important because Earl is not only personally one of the pillars that has sustained the diaspora movement, but the group which he leads, the JN Group, is a legacy partner. I think we should name you a legacy partner, quite frankly. But the JN Group is a legacy partner that has been responsible for the strengthening of the diaspora platform and the engagement with Jamaica. So I can't wait to hear the thoughts that you have on the matter before us, as well as, of course, the broader issue, as well as the book, as we all wait to hear more and to learn more about the diaspora networks in international business, perspectives for understanding and managing diaspora business and resources. So thank you for inviting me this evening, and I wish you all the very best, Madam Author. And thank you again all for your time and attention and for having me.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. I don't know how I can speak about international business at the time that you have allotted me, but I will try. I've observed all the protocols that you have laid, and I will just say congratulations to Indiana and Maria for a fine piece of work. It's not an effortless task to write a book, and a book of this volume as well. It's a big tome, so I can understand the significant commitments that you have made, Indiana and your colleague, to get this out, and I really want to congratulate you. But there's not much to say in terms of endorsement of this book. I think the endorsement has come from both the finest scholars in international business, Professor Hamilton, Professor Gary, and Etienne. They have provided important endorsement of the work of this book. And I want to take off a little bit from where Professor left, which is to recommend the book significantly to policymakers, academics and others. And in the context of what is here, it is very important to note that the book will make a significant contribution to the field of international business, because there's a missing link in the international business literature, and that link has to do with the role of diaspora as a particular resource that can be used to extend internationalization of firms. And that is really where Pervez had to actually identify the big contribution of this book. So I think the book has made a very important breakthrough in that area of work. But I would like to kind of link the importance of this book to the context, Mr. Jarrett. And in the context of our local economy, the book is so powerful in the sense that it provides us with an important resource that we can now use to formulate policies that are going to enhance our growth as a country, specifically. And why do I say that? Quickly, those of us who follow this particular line of work will recognize that generally, for the last 57 years, Jamaica has grown more than 2%, only 17 times. Only 17 times in 57 years. Well, why has that been the case if you take a closer look at our performance? When you take a closer look at the performance of the Jamaican economy over the last 57 years, a lot of the issues to do with growth are concerned with three major variables: consumption, government spending, and generally private investment from the local economy and a few FDI. But there has been a missing link that we have not focused on significantly. And that is what the economists would call the X minus M aspect of the equation, which is in essence net exports. Now, if you think about it, significantly, the other three variables could be performing very well in the case of Jamaica. But when you look at net export, that has dragged down the growth of the Jamaican economy. So while you have consumption maybe doing well, and government invests some money, and private investors come in, and if you add all three, and then when you look at the net export figure is negative, naturally the growth is going to pull down. So what that says to you is that if you're going to have long-term sustained growth, you have to internationalize your firms. That's really what it is saying. In essence, you have to start selling more overseas than you're consuming. Now, how do you do that? You're going to do that by getting firms to go into markets that they understand and that they can win, as in sell goods and win. Now, the diaspora provides you with a significant competitive advantage as a starting point, especially for firms that are coming from countries like ours with very limited resources, very limited know-how. What you do, the diaspora network provides you with what we call in the literature a kind of reduction in the psychic distance or reliability of newness. Now, if that is the case, what it is saying to you is that a lot of firms from developing countries, especially small developing countries like ours, that have no kind of leverage in international affairs, except that you have to participate in the global market space, because you're just too small to focus domestically and then. So you have to participate. So you have to participate. A good learning curve that you can use to start climbing is your diaspora network. It provides you with a kind of a comfort market. And having provided you with that comfort market, you can now learn and move into mainstream market. So what this book has provided, and importantly, I have not read the entire manuscript, but I've gone through and I've looked at the table of content section, and significantly what I've recognized, although there is a big discussion about the diaspora, what you find is that there's a significant discussion about entrepreneurship as well. And this brings very nicely two themes together. So it could have easily been titled a book of diaspora networks in international entrepreneurship, because that is really what it is all about. And so when you look in the text and recognize the breadth of work that is on the entrepreneurial dynamism of how the businesses are working, now you can understand the level of contribution this book will make to both policymakers in the private and in the public sector domain. So I want to recommend the book to all of us, but I want to especially recommend it to private sector persons and also public policymakers who are concerned about growth, but growth in the context of internationalization of enterprises from small developing economies. So again, Indiana and Khalid, thank you very much for this book, and I wish you well. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Minister and Denzel. As I listened to you both, I realized that recently I went to a book launch and the author said we're getting 2 for 1. And I wonder if we're not getting 3 for 1. Yeah. This could easily be 3 books. Congrats again, Indiana. You know, ladies and gentlemen, it's really a family affair this evening. And at this point, do I see are we going to take a musical interlude now? Or a saxophonist, Indiana's nephew, who will entertain us for a few minutes. Welcome, Mr. David.
Good evening, everyone. Pleasure to be here. All protocols observed. It is a pleasure to be here. I think I said that. Right, I hope you enjoy music. Let's start here. No lies, man.
We can sing along this time.
Mr. David Salmons. Thank you very much, David. And I must tell you, he not only blows, but he has a full-time job at Staten. So I don't know where he finds the time to rehearse. Thanks very much. You know, something I really thought I would enjoy, I knew I would enjoy this evening, is to introduce my dear friend, our new, is it legacy champion or Diaspora? But regrettably, well, I must say, luckily I have Suzette to do that. Miss Suzette Wood is an MSBM alum, a graduate from Mona School of Business and Management. And I'll ask you to truly introduce a man who needs very little introduction in this audience. But please introduce Doctor.
Good evening. Our guest speaker has been an active participant in maintaining the links with Jamaicans in the diaspora and the island. He's a member of the Jamaica Diaspora Institute. He's the Chief Executive Officer of the Jamaica National Group, a multinational organization based in Jamaica with representative offices, subsidiaries, and money transfer locations in the United Kingdom, Canada, the United States of America, and the Cayman Islands. The Jane Group is an active participant in the biennial Jamaica Diaspora Conference held on the island. Through the Jane Group, our speaker has facilitated and participated in events to foster the strengthening of the diaspora partnership. Events such as Outlook for the Future, an annual forum which invites members of the government and the private sector to update Jamaicans on developments in the island, and so that residents in the UK, USA, and Canada can be aware and be advised of how to participate. Another event, Caribbean Question Time, a forum for Caribbean nationals in the United Kingdom to examine developmental initiatives in the Caribbean as well as other events. His expertise in finance, business, and entrepreneurship has made him a well-sought-after speaker on economic, social, and development issues at regional and international fora. He serves as an executive on the boards of several international, regional, and local organizations, including the Caribbean Association of Housing Finance Institutions, Jamaica Cancer Society, the Electoral Commission of Jamaica, and of course, Jamaica Diaspora Foundation. He has received numerous international and regional awards for his outstanding business acumen, including the Hummingbird Award for International Achievement from the American Friends of Jamaica and the Caribbean Luminary Award from the American Foundation of the University of the West Indies. He has also been inducted into the Private Sector Organization of Jamaica Private Sector Hall of Fame and recognized as a distinguished member of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Jamaica. This distinguished gentleman has been conferred with 2 Doctors of Laws degrees by the University of Technology, Jamaica, and the University of the West Indies, Mona Campus, as well as a Doctor of Education in Leadership from the Michael University College. He has also been appointed by the Government of Jamaica as a member of the Order of Distinction in the rank of Commander for outstanding service to the Jamaican financial sector. In 2018, our speaker was again recognized by the Government of Jamaica with his elevation to a member of the Order of Jamaica, the nation's 4th highest honor, for his exceptional contribution to the banking and financial sectors, public service, and volunteerism. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming the Honorable Earl Gerald.
Thank you, Ms. Susan Wood. We have to say all of that. Pastor Cervely, Nina Israel. She's a doctor in Israel. And to the Honorable Kalina Johnson Smith, Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade. Other distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for inviting me to Indiana to speak this afternoon on the launch of your new book, or your book. To participate in this launch of the Diaspora Networks in International Business, Perspectives for Understanding and Managing Diaspora Business and Resources. That provides a critical global insight into key diaspora communities and their engagement. Let me add my words of congratulations to Dr. Indiana Minter-Coy and to Dr. Maria Ellen, who has over the years become one of my principal resources on diaspora matters. And not only catching the vision, but also seizing the moment for putting together such an important body of work, and academic work it has been on the diaspora globally. I congratulate both Indiana and Dr. Elo for compiling the works of many intellectuals. A team of editors, co-authors, reviewers, including historians, sociologists, psychologists, linguists, technologists, as well as experts in public policy and international business, marketing and entrepreneurship, must also be congratulated for the collaborative approach taken to selecting and refining the various presentations for inclusion in this forum. The difference between your work and the work that has been previous to that is that so far we are focused heavily on diaspora philanthropy, remittances, diaspora networks, in terms of the Alumni Association, the task forces, and we now introduce the elements of business networks. And I should just like to comment on Denzel's comments earlier, that most of the companies in Jamaica that have launched international businesses have done so on the backs of the diaspora. When you look at Brazil and their exports, it's related to the diaspora markets. You look at National Paper, you look at Lasco. It's all been to the diaspora community, and that has been the base on which they have grown outside of Jamaica. It's interesting to know that a study was done by Caprice some years ago, which tried to determine what's the value of the diaspora contribution to Jamaica's economy. And we all tend to look at the 17% of GDP or 18% which remittances represent. But the study suggests that when you add everything, when you add the exports, when you add the tourism, which the diaspora accounts for some 7% of the tourism flows to Jamaica, we could be looking at twice the 17%. That is a significant number for us. And one can but imagine with dread a day without the diaspora. What would that to our exchange rate? What would that to our economy? And I say that to say that Johnson Smith has the most significant responsibility of all the vessels in Jamaica. I understand that this, your work, could be described as one of the few, if not the only one, that looks at global platforms for diaspora business networks. It combines most recent empirical evidence from developing, emerging, and transitional and developed countries, with various combinations of the diaspora evidence from each country. I'm aware of the work of many of your contributors. Manuel Orozco is somebody that I've worked with directly. Yolanda Lee, well,
both of whom have been studying diaspora, particularly in the Latin American area and the Caribbean, for many, many years. Along with the other contributions, they have provided solid resource, as David said, for policy making, for business decisions, and for just understanding the diaspora markets and understanding Jamaicans in the diaspora. And therefore, it is with great pleasure that I share my own thoughts on the issues related to migration and the diaspora this afternoon. I don't know if you selected the musical pieces that your nephew shared today. Papa was a Rolling Stone. That is only human nature. In the introduction to People on the Move, Managing Migration in Today's Commonwealth, a report of the Randall Commission, which was chaired by the then Prime Minister, First President Madison, on migration and development, it was stated that migration, like birth and death, has always defined the human population. And if you think back to man in the world, emerging from Africa, journeying across the Asian continent into Europe, North America, South America, down the Yucatan, up across the Caribbean states. That's where it started. People were free to move. Our presence here this afternoon in Jamaica and the Caribbean is related directly to migration. Many of us may have been forced migration, but migration nonetheless, through the modality of slave. For others, it came as a consequence of conquest, European conquest of the world. For the United States and Latin America, the populations of those countries is almost 100% based on migration, as people follow the conquest of the explorers and the conquest followed by settlement in this country. The beauty of things is that for many countries in the New World, the majority of the population comprise persons who are migrating. If you're from the biblical tradition, if you are a person who studies the Bible, you would have seen that for centuries before the New World was conquered, reading of the Bible would note the rise of the Roman Empire, the movement of people from the Middle East and North Africa to Rome and other parts before the Common Era. And that reminds us that the world is a single space. And the differences are really created by political borders, which are irregular. So in other words, these borders were man-made, and it's no different from building a wall. The phenomenon of diaspora networks is a natural, or was a natural outcome of migration. As migrants would form networks to survive in their new environments. There are many reasons that give rise to migration. The book identifies the economic factors as a major driver for migration today. But however, on closer examination, we can identify other important drivers of migration, such as persecution for religious or political reasons, natural disasters, such as earthquakes, volcanoes, and hurricanes. One but least of us looked in Montserrat, where the country was effectively destroyed by nature, and people had to move. Factors driven by climate change, such as rising sea level, has forced many people who live along coastal areas to move because their livelihood became impaired. Fear of crime and violence, as we are currently experiencing in places such as Guatemala. When you watch the television news and you see those poor migrants leaving and they say that they have to leave because criminals will be killing them. That's a reality which we have to face and think about. Of course, weak governments and corruption which cripples economies and forces people to have to leave their homeland. And one which just needs to look to Africa, to other African countries. And those poor persons who will take a weak boat to cross into Europe. And some are making and set up good lives. Some don't like the babies who died recently in that country, 39 of them. But one thing is for sure, migrants survive. We as humans are programmed to survive. We're going to find a way to survive. And for many migrants, the first option is to seek a job, which oftentimes is challenging when you're a migrant. As the employers in the host countries tend to prefer their own people, their own qualifications. The migrant oftentimes finds himself underemployed. And for many of us who travel a bit, particularly in Washington, D.C., in Toronto, and you talk to the taxi drivers, you realize that they are highly qualified people. Some are qualified medical doctors who can only but drive taxis in their host country, and here in that host country. So for people who really want to do better, for many of those migrants, the best option is to go into business and establishing their migrant communities, selling services to the communities, such as the sale and distribution of nostalgic goods, like Grace Kennedy's goods, and those corner shops that you see, which are Diaspora run corner shops. You find the diasporans involved in travel services because they recognize that their colleagues and friends travel to their home countries. They're also heavily involved in personal care, looking after older people, and child care, and other similar services where people want to be with their own people, or where there is trust between the communities. And the establishment and the marketing of their products and services are dependent on the creation of a network of suppliers, starting in Jamaica. The man who goes to Real Media and buy that drink, that energy drink, which some of you may know, and then he ships it out of Jamaica. There's another person in the UK or in Europe who, because in one case with that energy drink, it can't go directly into the UK. It has to go through a European source because it is the label does not meet the standards for decency. So it goes through Europe. The network has to make that happen into the UK, into the store, and then you have to find a way to get the money back to the purchaser who made the purchase from Real. So briefly, what's the Magnum. It's all sold in UK through the non-approved channel, which is the channel created by our diaspora. And so I cited this example. So we understand the importance of networks, even at that level, and it goes right up to the work that the ministry does in terms of foreign affairs, building networks with other governments, trying to find ways in which people can prosper, that we can do better than the 17 times of positive growth over 50 years. In fact, what the migrant does is exactly what you study in your books, Denzel. He creates a supply chain that provides the support for his business and for others in the area. For many migrants, their business will remain relatively small, with few actually growing to scale to match big businesses overseas. For Jamaican migrants, there are two exceptions that I know. One was Michael Lynch in the AIC. The other one was Mr. Raymond Chan, the CIA funds. He was able to build a network of businesses that were at international standard. And what we need to do is to find more regions, more niches. And we have to find a way to make that happen in the future. Before Ray and Mike, there was a Jamaican fellow called Anthony Wade, with his book, The Adventures of an Economic Migrant, shares his experience as a migrant about a company which he invested in called Dyke and Drive, which became the largest black enterprise in the UK in an era when it would have seemed impossible. In fact, they were eventually called the Black Cosmetic Kings in the UK, producing and delivering hair products for all people. And they did very well. So we get back in Jamaica now, we retired, we sold the company to an international firm, who then took it to another level. That is an example. Tony could not have done it without working on the network that he created and building his own agenda. The world that is now more open, facilitated by international travel and tourism and the internet, there is today an opportunity to expand the diaspora network beyond the primary diaspora group to include, in our diaspora definitions, what we can call friends of the diaspora. Vincent has spoken about that many times. How do we create a wider diaspora, which is Jamaicans and its friends of Jamaica. People who have become addicted to our music and our cuisine, like the tourists here, like watching television, people like, what's his name, Kyle, whatever. Kind of West. I notice us setting up all Jamaican symbols. We have seen the impact that Friends of Jamaica, Friends of the Diaspora can make in creating and maintaining networks. And I point us to the case of the Indian migrants to the United States, and in particular Silicon Valley, where they work in tech firms, made great friends in the tech firms, went back to India, created businesses in India that were then supported by the tech firms abroad, outsourced the program into Indian firm because the network was now created between the former employee and the Indian community. Those migrants became major actors in the creation of the business process outsourcing sector in India. In fact, when you drive past Sutherland's business in New Kingston, understand that that is a diaspora, the Indian diaspora network at work. The development of high-value diaspora networks is dependent on support from the governments in the home country who negotiate market access, who negotiate for more H1 visas for Jamaicans and foreigners to get work abroad. That's what we need to do. Whilst Jamaica grows, we need to find a way to retain the relationship with our talented diaspora, who today go abroad and get immersed in the system and become immediately, a foreigner. And we're in Jamaican epaulet except when boat is winning a race. In fact, we don't really speak to each other. I went to Credit Suisse for a meeting and I found that we had 3 Jamaicans who were managing directors in Credit Suisse in London. And they didn't even know each other within the business because nobody flies the Jamaican flag. And we have to fix that. In fact, today we're witnessing a major shift in the United Kingdom as we are seeing the post-Brexit era emerging. And I believe, well not believe, I know that the UK government has prepared a white paper on migration. It seeks to clarify how the UK will deal with migrants in the years to come. And part of that migration policy includes the skills that they want in the UK, because they anticipate that some of the European skills will go away. And I remember that paper when I went through it, it had all professionals, but it also includes carpenters, qualified welders, qualified plumbers. Of course, the UK is short of dentists. And what we need to do is to have a look carefully as an academic to support the minister and people like me who are on the edge of academia to decide how to navigate the changing life or changing environment that we have in the UK post-Brexit. It also means that in this changing time, for the Caribbean and Jamaica, we must work on really creating solid business networks, not philanthropic network, which has great value, but business networks that we Wenzel speaks of, so that at least we can jump the expectations and create larger companies abroad. And with all that Grace and Glasgow and others have done, they have not been able to penetrate in a serious way the business environment in the developed world. And we have to face that reality and figure out, how do we get there? How do we get there? Others have done it. How do we get there? We have some of the brightest people around. Despite what you want to hear people say, I mean, I'll give you a secret, because it will be a secret in a couple of weeks' time. But we are about to get a license in the UK to establish a bank in the UK. And what we have had to do is the first gathering bank in the UK. And I must say that our political network has been good to us, because the work that was done with the British government paved the way for this bank to come alive. And I can tell you that events came together in a good way as well. They had big rush problems, and the UK needed to have a positive response. And therefore, in 1 year from application, we will get a license, which is unbelievable. Unbelievable. But it speaks to the strength of the diaspora and the strength of our local government to help to pave that way at his network. And it's interesting to note, and I'm certain Desmond knows this, but of all the companies listed on the New York Stock Exchange, the ones that carry highest value and network-based companies, like Facebook. I don't know the social, this tech social media technology companies, but Facebook, I don't know. Twitter, what's the other one? Uber. They don't have anything. There's no assets. Just a network platform. Yet they carry such a value. The multiples of their earnings is sometimes not even able to be calculated, because they can have a multiple of nothing that then converts to billions of dollars. So networks are important. We need to remember that. Even as the content we were about the Boxer company and what's happening in Sharon or Manchester, we also need to try to see how we can build great networks that can add great value to our countries. For the Caribbean and Jamaica, we must work on developing those networks. Our embassies, high commissions, consulates need to be equipped to provide the services that these networks. It is not outside the realms of possibilities for our embassies and high commissions to be places for co-working. They have a company called eWork that granted facing a little bit of challenge these days, but the fact is that it grew and it was valued significant amount of money. And the inventor, the creator, would have retired as a billionaire. But it's not impossible for us to create in the embassies and high commissions facilities to have things like we work, or establishment to provide services like we work. Because as things go back, and our diaspora ages, you won't have that many people coming there for basic services. And so we need to, at this point, try to look towards the future. And part of the future should be to build high-value diaspora business networks. Without making any hard commitments, I'd certainly work on that with you in terms of creating that space in your offices. Give you the tools, because you need to have some tools to make it happen. But also we need to have the academics tell us what should be the components of this kind of co-work space. Rosalia and I visited a place in New York, which was fantastic. Any young entrepreneur or any entrepreneur, even large entrepreneur, would want to go to that place. Try to go on the upper east side of New York City. But the facilities were outstanding and appropriate. As we continue on the path of this fourth industrial revolution, we need to adopt new avenues to grow economy. We need to understand that the strength of our economy in our country will rest in the people, those living here and those living abroad. And we need to begin to shape new rules and laws for Jamaica, which were all developed around the old economy, around assets, land, protecting owners of capital. No, the owner of capital is the individual who owns the IP rights, who has an idea. And they exist already. And even when you look at the products of Jamaica, the art of Jamaica, who could monetize that, those are all intellectual property assets that we need to begin to understand and to shape policies around it. And to get it. What we would do to the local artist, if his work, whether painting or ceramics, could be situated in an average of one room in the style with shelter. Fantastic, but that would happen only through building up networks. In fact, one of the senior managers at Rick Scarleton was a Jamaican. I don't know if she's still there, but she was a Jamaican. And that is the possibility of the creation of a network to deliver a particular response from Jamaica. As I close, I again extend congratulations to Drs. Hello and Lincoln, Indiana to me, for compiling the work of the scholars to produce this book. As Denzler said, it represents a manual that we can use as we shape diaspora engagement. Because we do have a good policy. I don't know if people have had a chance to read the policy which you had a hand in. So it's really how you going to engage. So engagement strategy that is developed. And I encourage you to consider exploring the other areas of the diaspora and diaspora engagement, which we are spoken about here tonight. As you have heard, I represent an organization heavily involved in diaspora matters. And I'm always ready, oftentimes not able, but ready to support whatever initiatives we may have to strengthen the diaspora business networks. Thank you all so much, and congratulations again. We're going to have
say thanks to Dr. Earl. I'm going to hand over to my co-chair, Dr. McBean, and who will now introduce the consent. Yes. But before I do that, I wanted us, and I know if you noticed that Denzel and Ambassador ran away because we have a conflicting event that we have to run to right now. But just listening to Earl and hearing his commitment, and I know that was from the heart. And I saw Professor Ambassador Bernal, who heads up global affairs. And I'm going to commit in his absence that UA would love to partner with the JN and the ministry to make this networking happen all over where you have embassies. We will commit to work with you to make it happen. So again, Indiana, I want to say this is so timely what you have done. This seminal work, nobody has done it before. So I want to say heartiest congrats. And now I hand over to the big man.
Okay, thank you, Madam. I'd just like to add that one thing I could take away from Earl is engagement. And to both Earl and the minister and the audience, I believe if you look at our diaspora as a pyramid representing different segments, we have not engaged fully that pyramid. You must now go and engage the CEOs, the CIOs, the COOs, owners of capital. And I think that's our challenge, to bring their influence to bear. Interestingly, that is one way the university can help. A lot of us academics went to school with a lot of influential people. Yes. And we have lots of friends very influential, and then look at Dr. Henry there. And even those of us who have come back to Jamaica. So when you're looking at the window of the council minister, I think it's useful that we look at what in today's world, what they call them, right? The influencers. The influencers. So as we move on, we are now at the point where we will hear from important people, authors. And we would like to invite Ms. Cassetta Green, is that the correct? Cassetta Green. Another former student of MSBM, another former student of Dr. Indian. Come and introduce yourself.
Good evening. We're here this afternoon to celebrate with Dr. Indiana Deborah Mintakoy, wife, mother, academic, international speaker, researcher, author, lecturer, and the list goes on. Dr. Mintakoy has a number of distinctions since completing her PhD from the London School of Economics. She is currently academic director for the Master of Science degree and research, senior research fellow at the Mona School of Business and Management, and associate director for the Center for Entrepreneurship, Thinking and Practice at the University of the West Indies, chairs the MSBM Research Committee, and is also research affiliate at the International Migration Research Center at Wilfrid Laurier University in Canada. Outside of Jamaica, Dr. Mintakoy has held appointments at various academic institutions in Canada, US, UK, and Barbados, including the Skoll Center for Social Entrepreneurship at the University of Oxford, Research Officer at the London School of Economics and Political Sciences, the Center for International Governance Innovation, the University of Waterloo, Canada, Charlotte Rampol Center for Trade Policy, Law and Services at the University of the West Indies, campus. She believes in service to country and organizations that she serves, and this is shown in her numerous endeavors in the academic and wider community. For instance, Dr. Mintakoy is director of the main board of one of the Caribbean's largest conglomerates, Grace Kennedy Limited. She has served as a member of the Jamaica Stock Exchange Corporate Governance Awards Committee and as chair of both the Member Dealer and Investor Relations Subcommittee. Dr. Minter-Coy sat on the first selection committee of Jamaica's Stock Exchange, is a member of the judging committee of Jamaica's Ministry of Finance and private sector organization of Jamaica's Public Sector Corporate Governance Awards Committee. She's also a board member of the University of Guyana Press and the Diaspora Engagement Center, University of Guyana. The same care to her tasks are also demonstrated in her dedication to her students, some of whom, past and present, I'm sure who are here this evening can attest to that. Dr. Minter-Coy holds a very special place in my heart, and I recall how instrumental she was in driving me to the path of excellence while I studied the MBA program with MSBM, and she continues to provide really important mentorship in my life as a professional today. Among the things that she enjoys most is research and publications, an area in which she has won a number of awards at the university and departmental level. In fact, she has consistently maintained a steady number above the university level and as many as 9 publications per year. In total, she has over 40 articles in scholarly publications, peer-reviewed journals, books, and other works. Among these are her 2 edited books, the first of which was published in 2016, and this that we're here to celebrate this evening. She has also led 2 full special issues in internationally rated journals. Her research, publications, and consultancies span the areas of diaspora and migration, entrepreneurship, international business, SMEs, public policy, ICTs, and their intersection. Her research and publications feature in international conferences, journals, and books. Connecting the Dots, Entrepreneurship, Innovation, and Sustainable Development, which is forthcoming in 2019 with Pauline Millwood and Olivier Burke. Dr. Minter-Coy has reviewed for international journals, publishing houses, and conferences, including Entrepreneurship and Regional Development, Journal of Entrepreneurship and Innovation Management, International Journal of Entrepreneurship and Small Business, American Journal of Entrepreneurship, Social and Economic Studies, Sage Open, Measuring Business Excellence, and Journal of Systems Research. Dr. Minter-Coy has worked with and published with some of the most recognizable scholars in the fields of entrepreneurship, international business, and public policy. These include Sir David Story, Professor of Enterprise, Strategy and Marketing at the University of Sussex. He has won international awards for his work in entrepreneurship and small business, and his works are among the top 10 most cited works in entrepreneurship globally. The 2 authors who provided the forewords for the book being launched today, Professor Ahmed Etimad, best known for his research on international entrepreneurship and international business, is Professor of International Business and Marketing at the Desautels Faculty of Management at McGill University. Professor Etimad is the director, or the editor-in-chief rather, of the Journal of International Entrepreneurship. And we also have Professor Hervé Scory, Professor of International Business, Birmingham Business School at the University of Birmingham in the UK, and he has over 20,000 citations, over 196 publications, and is editor for some of the most significant journals in business studies, such as International Business Review. Recognition is also given to contributors such as Professor Leopold Dana and Kurt Seven. Her co-author for her first edited book is none other than Professor Evan Berman, who has won many awards for his work, including Distinguished Research Award in 2017, an identifiable body of work by an individual that has made substantial impact on the thoughts and understanding of public administration, and the Fredericks Award for Lifetime Achievement in International Comparative Public Administration in 2015. Dr. Mensah-Coy also counts 5 MSBM colleagues among her list of co-authors. Beyond all this, Dr. Mensah-Coy is a devout Christian, devoted wife to Dr. Andre Coy, and mother to Audrey and Nyla, and she is Miss Marvina's one daughter. Dr. Mensah-Coy.
I'm always embarrassed. Often you hear someone being described and you wonder, who are they talking about? But I confess, this whole experience has taught me something. I've always heard it said, but I think this experience brought it home to me. I've always been shy of speaking or hearing anybody speak about me publicly. And throughout this whole experience of planning this launch, I had persons consistently telling me, Indiana, for once, sit back, enjoy, allow your work to be celebrated. And I'm happy for that. And I'm happy too because I know where it's all coming from. It's through my hard work for the blessings of God. And so I give it all back to Him. So, I would say replacement chair, co-chair, Dr. McBean, Minister Johnson Smith, Mr. Honorable Earl Jarrett, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, friends, family, thank you so much for coming out, for braving the rain to come celebrate with me. I want to start with a story. Who here knows anything about the world's smallest snake? The doctor has her hand. She has a win-win attitude. Eh? So, in 2006, a group of researchers went to Barbados. They were from Penn State University, and they discovered the world's smallest snake in Barbados. The lead researcher named the snake after his wife, Carla. And so the world's smallest snake, Carla the snake, discovered in Barbados by a group from Penn State University. In 2008, they published an article about their discovery. To wide acclaim, BBC covered it, that's how I found out about it. And great discovery. However, the people of Barbados were offended. How could these people come to our country and claim to have discovered a snake that we all know? We know this snake. Everybody knows it. How dare he name this snake after his wife, Carla? But that's an important story for us, eh? I don't want to call the diaspora the snake, but there are important analogies. So for many of us in the Caribbean, we all know about the diaspora. All of us have experiences. We have a relative, a friend who is a part of the diaspora. Many, our first glance at a TV, access to a mobile phone was through the diaspora. Many of us see the diaspora as a bit of a nuisance. Those people in Barbados saw those snakes as a bit of a nuisance too. Not many Bajans bothered to research that small snake, okay? And so persons from overseas could come in, research, and name the snake. And so I feel it's important that as we've lived this diaspora experience, as we've gone through, we've gotten remittances and so on, that we in return claim the experiences that we've had. We write them down and we bring them to the fore in international global studies. That's critical, and that's critical for me. And so one of my driving missions behind much of the work that I've done is to document that diaspora experience and to legitimize it in the space of global scholarship. And this is what this book represents. Many of my pieces of work, I've looked at Jamaica National intensely, Grace Kennedy intensely, Jamaica Stock Exchange intensely. And so it's not a coincidence that they're my sponsors here today as well. Because these are companies that when you look at them, when you look at how Jamaica National has emerged from a small building society in Westmoreland, and how it's grown, expanded, mushroomed, internationalized, globalized, it follows the path and has followed the path of the diaspora. And so this creature that we talk about, the diaspora, significant transnational population, they're important to Jamaica's development. They're important to our present, or past, or future. As mentioned before, the very emergence of the Caribbean as a region is all about the migration, the ebbs and flows of people. And so this is an important part of our history and our culture and our future. And so diasporas, if you look at the relevance that they have now, you've heard about remittances. But beyond remittances, there's the sociological impact that they've had, the business impact. So the approach that we took, and I'll speak about my author in a little, but the approach that we took in putting together this book was purposeful. Many times, many of us have been in the diaspora, we've lived outside of Jamaica, whether we studied or whatever. And hearing the reports, seeing the reports in the media sometimes, it's almost disempowering. It's presented as people coming to our countries to take something from our countries, and they're defacing our countries, they're portrayed in a negative way. But the approach that we wanted to take for this book was an empowering one, to focus on business. And the reality is, diasporans, Jamaican diasporans, Caribbean diasporans, global diasporans, they make a significant contribution to any country that they go in. In fact, yesterday I was at an event with representatives from NCB and a number of other organizations. And a question I asked was, the focus was on mergers and acquisitions. And so I asked, what about the link between innovation, mergers, and acquisition? And the response that I got, the first response, went to migration. And that's important because there's an important and an interesting link between migration, diasporas, innovation, entrepreneurship, international business. And that is the empowering approach and the contribution that many Jamaicans and many diasporans have made over the years. And so it's been a journey. Many business schools that you go to internationally, and when you say you do research on diasporas and transnational diaspora entrepreneurship, they wonder, what is the relevance? Is there any space here for that? Why is this group so important? But what this book is doing is showing that at a practical level, diaspora has relevance politically, as a business group, as ambassadors for their country, as networkers, and also diasporans are important in terms of their ability to assist each other, even in the very settings that they're in. I mean, many of us have heard of Golden Cross, for example. Many of the branches of Golden Cross are owned by Jamaican nurses. So as we travel, we also provide opportunities for each other in the spaces that we're in. My colleague, Dr. Ello, we met in 2016 And we latched onto each other immediately because she's from Finland, she's worked in Germany, she's now based in Denmark, she's in charge of the co-chairs the Belt and Road Institute in China. So she's global in her perspective, but she's also had to walk this journey of defining and defending and explaining why diaspora business is important, why this empowering approach is significant and not just focusing on the negatives of the migration experience. Since our meeting in 2016, we've produced 5 papers together and this book, and we have other work to go on with because we recognize the space is there, the need is there. And so what we've done in this collection is to put together 31 chapters that represent global experiences. These are some of the best in the fields. And so it's not a coincidence if you go online to the website for the book. We've had over 9,000 downloads for the book already. So it's a little evidence. That's a little evidence of the relevance of the book and the space that exists for this new thinking. And it's important too that I note, many times we have the narrow disciplines. This book and the work that we do exists on the fringe. And it's important because this is where innovation comes. This is where innovation comes. This is where researchers from developing countries enter spaces that were never there for us before. This is how we enter spaces. We challenge existing disciplines. We tear them apart. We ask, what are the questions that ought to be asked now that the others haven't addressed? And this is one of the things that the book actually does. So I feel like I won't say much after the introduction, but I am very happy to have this. I remember when my first book came out in 2016, Professor Donna Hope said to me, "When are you going to launch?" I said, "I will." That was then. As I said, I don't like being here, so I shied away from it. So the approach I took this time was to have my speaker first. And so I figured if I had the speaker, then I'm bound to go through with it. And so here we are. And the choice of speakers, it was not a coincidence. As I said, I've studied Jamaica National, I've studied Grace Kennedy. And so I understand, I feel the experiences. Partly too because I lived away from Jamaica for years. So I understand the importance of driving along a street and seeing a Jamaica National sign. I understand the importance of going into a store in the cloudy London evening and seeing a Grace Kennedy product. I feel elated, I'm immediately lifted. I recall I'm in this dull place, but there's sunshine. This is what this product represents to me. And so I understand the importance and the relevance of these things from a diaspora context, which makes this topic even more interesting for me as a research area. So my nephew played the songs, and it's interesting, the selection. The second one, Reaching Out. The first, Papa Was a Rolling Stone. And in those 2 songs, he's able to capture many of the experiences of the diaspora. Because many of it, we talk about parents who've left, who've gone away. We talk about reaching out, creating the networks, reaching out to the contacts that we have. And that's important. So the book, again, coincidentally captures the different nature and the different sides of the diaspora. I want to thank, I know that the honor isn't mine completely to do the vote of thanks, but I want to thank some people really who've contributed. I know one of my cheerleaders, my chair, Ms. Mina Israel, has left. But she is such a champion. She's such a champion, particularly for someone like me, a young scholar. She's opened the way for many things. I wanted, of course, thank my co-author, who isn't here, but there's a message that she's sent that we would like to play, and I'll pause now for it to be played.
Dear participants, I'm very pleased to be able to talk to you via the video clip, and I'm sorry about my voice, I'm terrible mood. So, if we come back to our book, Diaspora Networks in International Business, first of all, I would like to cordially thank all participants, all authors who have put a lot of effort and time in generating this massive book, where we have several perspectives to Diaspora Networks. Thank you so much, Paul. I would also like to thank the reviewers and our partners who have helped us create this book. Thank you very much. The main contribution of this book, I think, is to generate debate about diaspora networks. It has long been a kind of a below-the-radar aspect that we have not been emphasizing in international business, international entrepreneurship. We have perhaps looked at some migrants, a little bit immigrant entrepreneurship, or some also negative issues like counterfeit fake flows, things like that. But we have not invested a lot of effort looking at diaspora networks in a positive sense, and not focusing on the deficit less, but on the resource base that diaspora networks and diasporas are creating in international business. And these can vary from international investments, economic development, regional development, to different types of entrepreneurship, entrepreneurial activities, innovation. We have a large landscape of different economic activities, entrepreneurial activities that are very, very interesting. And this book offers quite a few interesting viewpoints to these specific streams of research. So it's not limited to economic aspects, we also have social, cultural, linguistic aspects, and different issues relating to place. And place in the global world is still an interesting thing to look. Where are we going with the businesses? Who are these people taking businesses to new places? Who are these migrants? How these flows are happening? So what are the kind of movements that we have? It's not just technology, it's also the people involved. So I think this provides quite a lot of reading from different perspectives, different disciplinary angles, but also different specific topics, from nostalgia, tourism, to ethnic issues, and also to ethical issues. So there is still a lot of work to be done, but I think we have generated a quite nice start to discuss and to provide some vocabulary, common vocabulary, to start referencing and discussing similar issues and sharing those with others. So thank you very much to all for listening to us and for participating, and happy reading. Thank you.
And that's who I call my Maria. She's my sunshine, she understands, and it's important, you know, from two different cultures and contexts. We both have two daughters. And so when I say, Maria, I can't write today, the child, one of the children, she says, I understand, take a break. And that's important to someone like me. And so Maria has given me a little of the context again to the book, and much has been said so far, and I know you've been here for a while. I don't want to keep you much longer. So I want to take this opportunity to thank my sponsors. Thank you very much for the support. And my families. So I have a number of families. So my MSBM family, led by Dr. Matthew. Mrs. Campbell, I don't know where she is, but Mrs. Campbell is one of those. When I told her I was going to do the book launch, Mrs. Campbell said, well, launch the 2 books then, never done before. I said, Mrs. Campbell, that's too much for me. But she encourages me. Jenny's handling from marketing. So I want to thank the whole MSBM team that worked with me in putting this together. I want to also thank some persons who are here. Ambassador Stone, I've known from my days as a student at UWI. She's sitting beside Rita Vokes, one of my ardent supporters, and nudgers in so many ways. I'm grateful for all the support. I want to thank my church family who's here. I want to also thank my students. And it's my marker when I can call upon my students and they say yes. I'm very grateful for that, because I believe, as much as of who I am, and having been to different institutions and been mentored by different teachers, it's also my responsibility in my activities here to ensure that students who leave the university, they can look back at the university as a good experience. And so I'm happy that they, when I call upon them at any point, they say, yes, Dr. Coy. Yes, Dr. Coy. I'm grateful for that. And so some of the ushers who are here are my students and past students. And to all the ushers, for example, no one is being paid. They're all doing this for free. So thank you very much. I want to thank, so some other persons who are here. Professor Thomas Hope, I know you're surprised, who's done a lot of work on the Jamaican diaspora. Professor Neville is here today, and he sends his regards as well. Even Arnaldo Brown, who's left. But these are persons who, in one way or the other, have contributed to my journey and my research agenda. So thank you for that. I want to thank Mr. Leo Gilligan, who's here from the US. He's been one of the active members of the Jamaican diaspora for some years now. So thank you for coming out. It's difficult when you start mentioning names. So I'll end here and I'll go to my family. Now, a lot of times people wonder, Indiana, how do you do this? When I go home, I have 2 daughters who have already bested me in anything that I can hope or imagine to do. And so I don't feel threatened by the next generation. In fact, the next generation should be better than we are, right? And so I'm happy when I say things and they go, Mommy, that's nonsense. 5 and 7. And so when I come to the public, I've already been, at home, so I can relax, and so I take offense to very little that happens in public because I have them in private to deal with. So I'm grateful for these daughters of mine, and I look forward to the women that they are becoming. Thank you for keeping Mommy grounded. My husband, Dr. Andre Coy, we've seen each other through the different phases, known each other since 3rd form. He's been there with me through the different phases. When I feel high, he's there. When I'm low, he's there to pick me up. When I have the chapter to write, and there's washing to be done, there's cooking to be done, I can say, please, can you cook? Please, can you do the laundry? And he does all those things. So he is in many ways the person that keeps me sane. So when I leave the business and the madness and I go home, I know nothing outside matters because he's there. And so I'm very grateful for I'll never again be this person. So I am very grateful for the support that I have. And again, I said families because I see you all here tonight as my extended family, my direct family in one way or the other. Even you, Minister Johnson Smith. We met at the London School of Economics. Yes, we did, years ago. So it's interesting how things come around and then they come back to join each other. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I'll hand over back to my second chair, Dr. Mabin, co-chair. And thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. You would have been handed a sheet which is essentially a discount for the book that's offered by the publisher. Apologies that I didn't have copies here for sale, but the publishers graciously offered the discount for persons who wish to purchase copies.
Thank you, Indiana. Minister, of other talents you can call on her to make speeches. So, where we are now is I am looking at the time, and I know there was space for question and answer, so we'll take maybe no more than 4 questions. Questions, please, for the author. No, going once, twice, yes, I see one.
In the Diaspora networks, what is the importance of intellectual property?
In the Diaspora networks, what's the importance of intellectual property?
I give a 30-second answer. Mr. Jarrett in his presentation spoke about intellectual property, cultural artwork. He also spoke about ideas as the new gold, ideas as the essence of businesses rather than assets. And that speaks directly to the whole issue of intellectual property. But you and I, Dr. Branch, can have a discussion outside after that, because I know your research, okay?
Thank you. So I see no other takers, but Dr. Indiana Mintercore will be here afterwards. So at this point, we will have a presentation of books done by Dr. Indiana Mintercore. So while she readies herself, one of the interesting things about this is that she is, usually somebody has books and they present it to friends or boss. But she has chosen to give it to institutions, primarily libraries. So, so the first presentation that we'll have will be to the Institute of Jamaica. Alicia Johnson. Presentation. This is important because the Institute of Jamaica is one of the repository libraries which collects all of our materials. Very appropriate. Then we have the other repository library, which is, they will say, they are the one more than likely, the National Library of Jamaica. And they are represented by Ms. Beverly Lashley, National Librarian of City. So again, we are leaving this for posterity, for the archivists, for the researchers. People think we're always in competition because we're on different sides of the Hope Road or Old Hope Road. We're cousins. So I'd like to invite Mr. David Drysdale from the University of Technology. Is there anybody from University of Let the record reflect, I did not even smile at Thank you very much. And as two premier universities in the country, we do a lot of research in business and entrepreneurship, so this is also appropriate. Minister, the most important minister government. Earl said it. So we'd like to invite Minister Kamina Johnson-Smith to receive a copy. So research and policy. Thank you very much, Minister. Of course, a presentation could not be complete to libraries without having a presentation to the University of the West Indies Library. I'd like to ask Dr. Benjamin Branch, Deputy Librarian, I'm going to take some privilege and do a certain on that. The Jamaica Stock Exchange, and this also we are very pleased about. Ms. Nora Roberts, or anybody from the Stock Exchange. And last but certainly not least, Indiana is representative of the Mona School of Business and Management, and we do have a library. And we have a library of international business books, but we also have an extensive library of books and papers written and researched by our own folks. So, to add to the ever-growing collection, we'd like to invite Ms. Kirk, librarian for MSBM, to come and receive a copy for the school, the students and researchers to continue to work on this. And again, the paparazzi did their bit. It's very critical for us that we continue these links between research and implementation. Practical, academic. Yeah. Thank you, Indiana. And this brings us to probably me standing between you on the most important events here. The vote of thanks. Oh, pardon me. And when you're in a room with Earl, whatever you do, he always closes the show. But Jamaica National, and Earl could be called Mr. Diaspora. Earl, I'll tell him a little story. If Earl had his way, he would have had me working for the diaspora, in the diaspora. But that's another story for another time. Another time. It wasn't me, it was them, but it wasn't her, but it was them. You remember that? All right. So I'd like to move the vote of thanks. I think Indiana has to fight of those who have made this happen. So in the interest of time, I won't go over a lot of the individuals, but there are some institutions who would like to thank. Certainly to our speakers, we would like to extend gratitude. My co-chair, Ms. Lena Israel. Thank you, Minister and Professor Denzel Williams. The guest speaker, the Honorable Mr. Diaspora. And for those who introduced the Suzette Wood and Mr. Seta Green, and of course Dr. Maria Edo, who unfortunately couldn't be with us. This couldn't be put together with a team. So without going to name someone involved, MSBM team, I'd like to thank you for at relatively short notice And if you think we have graduation this week, and we had a big presentation last night, and we did another one. So thank you very much for coming out and supporting this, and this is what we do as a family. I'd also like to say thanks, by the way, to the persons who wrote chapters who are not here in the book. Very important, and it's, again, if you look at the international collaboration that's been put together by a wide range of persons from the diaspora, Europe, Latin America, and elsewhere. We have sponsors. Cordell Green would say thank you for a commercial break, and probably write me in a formal life about the inappropriateness of the commercial break. Don't worry, Cordell, all this is PG, the little cat won't come on. Jamaica National has made some substantial contributions, not only a guest speaker, but also sponsoring the evening's events. We are a university. We make no point is when we see money, we try to spend it on teaching, learning, and research. That's our resident. So when the other things come up, we need partners. I call this early enlightened self-interest. I've been doing this for a long time because this work will help you in your other work. So thank you. Yes. And then you use our teaching, learning, and research to make money. I'd also like to thank Grace Kennedy, who another one of our sponsors, and again, somebody heavily involved in Diaspora. And they'll find this training. For those of you who don't understand the structure, MSBM is not just a school, we're a company. So MSBM, the company, is also one of the sponsors for tonight, because we're a business school and we eat our food. So we run a fairly successful company that generates services. And finally, to you who came out, we ask you to go and spread the word. For those of you who are in business with the diaspora, we offer this to you as a tool to use in your business for public policy. For the students here, please engage in this as an extension of learning. And for students, I don't mean only those registered within the halls of the university, anybody who wants to expand their knowledge base. Once again, thank you for being with us, and we'd like to invite you to spend some more time with the author and to have some refreshments. Thank you.
Thank you. And
international marketing stuff. Kind of was
Question I had.